Hi guys, it's Matt here from the Forex Coach. Just thought we'd start doing some live trading updates. So it's Monday the 14th of August. We've had a couple of trades off this morning. So first one is we exited a GR30 or DAX trade that we took last week. Now originally when we went into this trade, as you can see here, we were playing it on the bigger time frames. We knew there was some analysis there. It had a big run down. It hit some support. There was the opportunity for it to turn back up. So we went in over here. We originally took half out. You won't see this, but last week at this this spike up here. So originally we got up for about 60 odd pips. You can see there. So up on this spike somewhere about here. Now it actually hit a key moving average on this 30-minute chart. It hit this black line here, which is the 50 period moving average, and as you can see it then started to roll back over. Now we made the decision as part of the group, I messaged this out to the group who follow our trades, and we made the decision to close part of this out over the weekend. Reason being is that it was just too high risk. So although we had taken half off up here, we ended up getting out the second half for about 25 to 30 pips, somewhere around here. It rolled back over. We was going into the weekend. Now we did not want to be sitting on this trade over the weekend. Reason being is that there was the risk with this North Korea situation that we was going to have furthermore of this risk off sentiment and therefore sell-offs of these major indices. So we just left on a quarter of the position. But the move has continued into today, and we ended up getting out up here on this one for 103 pips, just up here. Since then it has pushed up even higher. If I just go to the chart over here, yeah, so we exited just down here over here for 103 pips. We actually had an entry on a on another account as well. I got slightly more out of that. I got 122 pips out of that one. So that's the GR30. New trade today, so we've taken a euro US dollar short. Just let that load up now. So original entry was over here, so we are sitting on that at the moment. It's better off looking at that on the hourly chart, because that's more of the chart where the entry was taken from. So if we look at it on the hourly chart, we did take a further position off down here. Now from the original entry it was actually about 21 pips. This was just a small top-up entry that I took on this trade, but the original entry was about 23 pips or something like that down there. But we're looking for a bigger move on this anyway. So you can see here that we've got this trend line across here, which is where we took the 23 pips from. We're looking for a break of that trend line and some more downside. Probably not quite as far as this target down here, so we'll probably move this up, but maybe this 500 period moving average on the hourly chart, as this moves up here, maybe we'll get a test down to that and a test of these sort of previous lows down here. So that's the move that we're looking for at the moment on that. Currently sitting at 18 pips up on the main position. But we had a nice trade this morning on gold. So we took an entry this morning around 6 AM, as you can see here. Now gold on this particular brokerage account is geared at 10 to 1, which means the position size is a tenth of what I'd usually risk. However, the pips look huge. So on most brokers this 457 pips would be 45 pips. But it just so happens it was geared at 10 to 1 on this particular one. But the point is, we got in up here. We're looking for a move back down, you know, a pullback. The overall trend is up clearly on gold. We've definitely got this risk off sentiment at the moment, so we're just looking for pullbacks at the moment to try and take some profits out of these. Now we had a nice one on this. We've actually taken 3/4 of the position off now, and I'll show you why on the higher time frame chart. But we took part of it off there, and then we got out here for 540 pips or 54 pips on some brokers. Looking for continuation of this. It may bounce back up slightly, but the reason we got out here was the 4-hour 21 period moving average. You can see it's tested that. Now often when it hits these moving averages, especially when they're facing up like this after such a big push up, and it is the first test of this, often you can get a bounce. It can go as high as this price envelope here before then rolling back over. If that does happen, it would actually put the trade back into negative territory, and the overall move that we're looking for would still be realistic. So what we tend to do is we always take parts of trades out. If it does bounce as far back as this, we can always add back into the trade. So we've already booked some banked and profit, but we can add back in up here. If it doesn't and it breaks through, it keeps breaking down, then we look to exit this trade further down. If we look at the overall or the bigger picture on this 4-hour chart, we can see here that we've got a nice trend line potentially across here. You could say there, and that was just a blip through, in which case then we could be looking at a move down to here. Ignore this overall target. We haven't set an exact target for this trade. It could be up here more, it could be down here. We could be looking for these previous lows before further continuation of the upside. We just don't know at the moment, but at the moment it's based on a shorter time frame chart. The higher time frame chart really was just used for picking targets really. So what I tend to always do is I enter, for example, on a 1-hour chart, I'd be looking at the 4-hour chart for my stops and for my targets, because that's the time frame where you could get a move to without your overall picture being disrupted. So in this example, we can hit this 21 period moving average, we could bounce back up to here, but our trade could still then continue as it rolls back over. So always use the time frame above to pick your targets and your stop losses. So again, another example there, we entered on the 1-hour chart, however we've got a stop loss above the high on the 4-hour chart here. So I hope that helps. We'll do a further update later on today when we've had a bit more action on these moves. Hi, we're just back and we've had a bit more movement with these, so I just thought I'd come back and have a look. So we can see that this gold trade, it's actually broke through this 21 period moving average. Now it's only 12 o'clock, we've still got another 2 hours, just under 2 hours until this 4-hour bar closes. It could still bounce back up here, and however, if it closes strong like this through this 21 period moving average, then it's more likely we're going to get a further move down, potentially straight down here. So in which case we won't get a chance to add back into the trade, but we will look to obviously take our exit if we can get down to here potentially. Going over onto the euro. So this has moved a bit more as well. We've actually just taken another third off the trade, so we've actually only got a third left on, and because yes, we've gone through this trend line, however there are other moving averages that it's coming into. Also on our price envelope here on the 8-hour chart, we are getting close to this bottom 5 period moving average. Now with these moving averages, we've also got to bear in mind is that sometimes you can forget that they're going to move on the next candle, and although it may not have touched a moving average, when the next candle comes in it can then pull the moving average up and then create a touch of it. So you just got to bear that in mind sometimes. Now we're still a way off anyway, but it was only a small trade. I was happy to take part of it off there, so we'll see what happens with the rest. Looking at this, we've got some positive momentum on the 8-hour chart. We've got stochastics moving up and stuff like that. So, you know, this could just be a pullback of a continuation of this move. And this is the difficulty with trading, is that pretty much 9 times out of 10 you'll have a conflict on some time frames with every single trade you take. So every trade you take, whether it be long or short, you'll find a time frame that, or a few time frames that will conflict it, and you know, will say no, it's a short when you've gone long, and vice versa. So it's always very difficult to judge it based on just one particular time frame. This is why you need to use as many different time frames as possible. So we've had a bit of a move, we've taken a part profit of this. I will follow this trade through on this video today, and we'll see, hopefully we'll get it fully closed out by the end of the day. at some point, whether it keeps going or whether it pulls back, bounces up and stops us out, and we might trial the stop down, etc, etc. So I'll keep the updates going and I'll come back to you later on. Okay, just back, and we are still in this euro dollar. It's been holding about here, consolidating, still sort of resting on this moving average here, this 50-period moving average. We broke this trend line. I think we're coming into the US session now. I think that we're still going to see a bit more downside on this, so still quite happy to still be in this trade. Gold, we've not got a lot left in anyway, because we've exited down here, so it's having a bounce at the moment. As I said, on the 4-hour chart, what we could see was the hit of the 21-period moving average. This could come back up. If it does, and it does come back up here, we will get back in. Possibility of even putting in an entry sell order up here somewhere. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. If it does come up here, then we'll be looking for further shorts on that. We got out the DAX position, which we went through earlier. We also had a CAD Swissy position left over from last week. That's part of one. We had another entry as well on another account. In fact, I can show you it. If I just move that. Yeah, if I show you this one here, so we've got this entry here. So that was the first entry on this account. These are two separate accounts, these are charts. So that was the first entry here. It's now just gone into 15 pips profit. This one here, we've actually closed some of this position off purely because it's hit the 8-hour 21-period moving average, which is sharply pointing down. We could see this now back off before it pushes them back up. So we exited about 7 pips ago, so about 50 pips on this one, and that's just kind of a leftover trade that we're in at the moment from last week. So you often find that you've got to be careful over the weekends, because obviously, especially with some of these geopolitical issues, the North Korea thing, etc., especially when you're trading some of these sort of risk off markets, whether they be stock markets, the yen or the Swissy, you do have to be careful. So we did reduce the size of this position by taking half of it off for 10 pips last Friday, because it just wasn't moving, but it's come off anyway, so that's fine, but it's just a half size position. Okay, we've now just gone through 3:30. The euro's come off. It's just having a bit of a bounce at the moment. So if we look at the 4-hour chart, it's hit this 21-period moving average, which is facing up. We look at the 1-hour chart. The move is, it has satisfied, this move on the 1-hour chart has satisfied what it needed to do, this sort of range here. So what we could see now is this sort of scale back over and then carry on this continuation of this trend, or we could see it come back up, a touch back up on this trend line, and then it roll back over, or it could just keep going down from here. You just don't know. We're positioned anyway. We've taken some profits off. We've got a third of the position left in as we stand at the moment. What we do is we see this hour out, see how it closes, and see whether we're going to take any more of this position off. If not, we just leave it running for now. The CAD Swissy position on this one is up quite nicely. It was taken on the 4-hour chart, so we are looking for a bit of a further move up. So what we'd look for is for this to sort of hold up here today. I wouldn't have thought it would do any more, and it's sort of contained in this price envelope, and then it could pull back slightly, and then the continuation of this move into tomorrow, a push up here. Gold's having a bounce, which we said it was possible that it could do. It's having a fairly good bounce here. So we said that what's left on this position, it could go back into negative. We might potentially get an add in if it does bounce back up here again. We'll have to see. It's getting a bit late on in the day now, so I'd have to decide whether I would be willing to add in if it did get up here. If not, we just hold this position into tomorrow and see if it can keep rolling back over. Other than that, there's not a lot else going on. I have got a did have a US 30 a long position, because we were in the GR30 as well, so the DAX. I took half of this position off this morning because I just didn't want to be overexposed. So it ended up just being a half size position in this, and I've taken a quarter off for 50 odd pips on that one. So we were left with just a quarter of it there, and as I say, I took a quarter off for 50 pips. It's pushing higher. We are in a swing short actually on the Dow Jones now, on another account, so on the swing account. So each strategy is traded separately on a different account. So what we could see is a push up here. We could hit this price envelope and then it start reacting and roll back over. We could consolidate and go sideways for a couple of days. It could always keep pushing higher and take out these highs again. So we'll have to just wait and see what happens on that. But we have got a swing short, but I'm also in this small long here as well, just to see how that one plays out. Right, we're just back. It is 4:15 and I'm looking to wrap up this video now. There's not a lot else going on at the moment. It's quite a quiet day on the markets. As I say, we've been through these trades that I've got running, and I'm not really going to give any more comment on these. The US 30 still pushing up, so again I'm not looking for much more upside on this, so we'll look to get out. There's not a lot of this position left on. The same with the CAD Swissy. I've got that one's now sitting at 22 pips, and then we've got the one over here which is 66 pips. Again, profit's been taken off of those as well. There's not a lot left over on those. We are in another swing trade which has started to come in now on Aussie New Zealand dollar. It's not a huge swing trade on this. I mean, we're looking at 11 pips up, but yeah, we've got a short trade on here from over here anyway, so we're looking for a bit of downside on that. We have talked about the euro a bit today, so euro dollar. We did, just after my last update, I did take a bit more profit. On the hour chart, it looks like it's done enough and can now push back up. So we took 39 pips or 40-ish pips nearly here. So we didn't quite get this peak down here, but I was looking for this to have a sort of a stronger close and then continuation. Started to see the bounce. It's had a good bounce up. It could push down back up higher. May look to exit this chart in the next couple, this trade in the next couple of hours anyway. It's only a small part of the position again left on that one. Gold, again, it's pushed up, which it can do. Again, there's a small part left of this trade on, so I'm not really bothered what happens now. It could push up, roll back over, so we'll have to see. You'll have to check back in the next couple of days to see what's happened with these markets and see how we've got on. Maybe that we've closed out. All in all, the trades I've shown you now are guaranteed profit trades because they've all got banked profits on them. So that's Monday's live trading update. I hope that helps. Overall in the accounts today, on the two accounts that I've talked about today, so my trading strategy or my trading plan is built around 4 different strategies, and each strategy I trade on a different account. The reason being is that it allows me better analysis, and from that you can then develop and tweak and improve things. If you trade 3 different trading styles or 4 different trading styles all on the same account, when you look at your analysis or your journal, whatever software you use, FX Blue is very good. If you use that software, then you're not going to gauge a good picture of what is working and what isn't working. So split them up. So all in all, for me, although I have separate accounts, say for example these 2 accounts, one's got something like 11,000, the other's got 12,000 in. All in all, I'm trading at the moment about £32,000 on these strategies combined, and they're split across 4 accounts, as I say. But that means that overall, when I trade, my risk is based on my overall capital. so the 32,000. It doesn't mean that when I place a trade on this particular account I only trade at 1% of or 0.5% of 11,000. I don't. I trade at 0.5% of 32,000. So on these two accounts I've showed you today, we've got one account's up £41 today, the other's up nearly or £416. So it's a good day. £450 on those two accounts is pretty much where I'm at across all the accounts at the end of the day today. So it's well over 1%, and that's a good day's trading. Now, just a little message from this: people that are trading, there might be people out there that are going, yeah, well, I get a £400 day, or I have a £500 day, and my account's £10,000. Well, in my eyes, you're over leveraged if that is the case. For me, a day for the £32,000, if I have a day where I'm making £500, that is a very, very, very good day. Now, that's not to say there won't be better days than that. There will be days where we make £1,000 and things like that. But based on that capital at the moment, that is a good day. If your account is £3,000, then a good day for you would be £50. So there's a video that I've done on the psychology of trading and risk management. Have a look at it if you're not sure, and if you're not sure what your expectations should be. But if you've got a £3,000 account or a £5,000 account, don't expect to be making £500 a day. All you're going to be doing is, you might have the odd few good days where you do, but you will in the long term blow up your account. I hope that helps. Monday live trading. I look to do a video most Mondays now going forward, so you'll find them on the YouTube channel and also on the Facebook page. Hope that helps. Bye for now.